Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming today to our Meet the Principal event. My name is Harry Corpening. I'm president of the R.J. Reynolds High School Alumni and Friends organization. And on behalf of the 36,280 other alumni, I welcome you here. Reynolds High School has a long tradition. This past Tuesday, on January 15th, 2013, we celebrated our 90th birthday. Presently, we have our 7th principal. It's my pleasure to introduce him so that he can tell a little about where he's from, what his goals are, etc. Mr. Patrick Olson. Pat, you'll come to the podium, please.
Thanks, Harry. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Harry, and thanks to the alumni for having me here today for this event. I hope you find it informational, a lot of information you probably will get out of this. Just to talk a little bit about myself. Born and raised in Michigan. Attended college at Central Michigan University, where I earned my bachelor's degree and my teaching certificate. Certified to teach history, social studies. I'm also certified to teach German. My dad is a native German, and both my parents were teachers as well. I have a master's degree from Central Michigan University in education administration, and I have an ed specialist degree halfway to a doctorate in educational leadership. I started out my education career as a teacher. I taught about 8 years. I taught history and science. I almost have a minor in earth science. So in Michigan, you're allowed within a certain number of credit hours you can teach science, so I had that. I am a veteran of the U.S. military. I was in the Air National Guard. I was placed on active duty with the Air Force during Desert Storm. I am also, and nobody knows this in Reynolds, in the Reynolds family, but I was the Outstanding Airman of the Year in 1991 for the entire United States of America. So my picture hung at the Pentagon for a month. I was one of 12 people honored. My transition to Reynolds, I want to give a big thank you to David Small, who served as the interim. He and I did a lot of communicating back and forth on the phone and by email as he was getting the school year started and I was getting the school year started in Michigan, and then ending my tenure there and beginning my tenure here. So I also want to thank Dr. Pascal, who had several lunch meetings with me, and we talked on the phone a couple times, and subsequently, once school started, we've been able to meet and talk at various athletic events, so I want to thank him as well. And of course, I want to thank Dr. Martin and the school board for selecting me to be the 7th principal of Reynolds High School. Very honored to have been chosen. The teaching staff has been great in terms of welcoming me and showing me around and kind of teaching me the ropes. We've really had quite the, we've been working really close together lately. We've had the exam period these last 7 school days, and we've spent a lot of time scoring the common exams. You've probably heard a little bit about that. These are new state exams, and there is a constructive response that the local schools have to score, and so we've been spending the last 4 afternoons doing that, including yesterday. So we had a lot of volunteers that came, and we finished that up. And last and certainly not least, I do want to thank parents and the PTSA members who were very warm and welcoming. I had a great reception on my very first day. Some of the ladies in the group took my wife around town and actually found a small apartment for me to live in while I get started here and get settled in. And our house in Michigan is up for sale, so we're looking forward to that to be sold, so the rest of the family can meet me down here. So they really helped to make a very warm welcome for me, and I'm really grateful for that. When Harry first approached me about this event, he wanted me to kind of talk about what my vision is for the future moving forward. And really it's simple, at least right now at this point as we finish up with the first semester in my first couple of months here. As you know, North Carolina received Race to the Top funding, so with that there's a lot of legislative changes that are enacted that have taken place in the field of education. And so some of that involves having a new teacher evaluation tool, a lot of new tests or measurements of student achievement, and that student achievement is tied to teacher evaluation. So there's a lot of changes that are happening. And on top of all that, we have the implementation of the Common Core, which was developed over the course of the last several years through a consortium of about 46 different states. So there's a lot of things looking forward, a lot of changes that we have to be mindful of and plan for in terms of educating our students. And so one thing I've noticed here is that there's a great historical tradition here and a great culture of honoring that history and tradition. And so it's kind of my thought, my plan, my hope to honor and recognize and certainly learn more about those histories and those traditions, but at the same time we do have to look forward because the law does expect us to teach our students and send them out from school with 21st century skills. And so with that in mind, I'm fairly technology minded, and I think that's kind of the wave of the future, that there's a lot of way that education and curriculum in specific is being delivered through the use of technology. And so we can't hide behind all of our traditions and all of our history. We can honor those things and learn from those and move forward and create new traditions as we move forward. And so I believe that we need to make sure that we maintain quality educational products, technology-wise, in our buildings. And I'm very happy and appreciative, and I think it's a unique situation that our facilities here turned 90 years old. That's a very important part of the community, and I recognize that. And in doing so, we need to make sure that our teachers are receiving and are able to use 21st century equipment so that we can teach our students the 21st century skills. And we can do that within the historic aspect of our building, and I truly believe that, and look forward to kind of being the steward of that as we move forward. I was telling some of the former principals earlier before we got started, we were talking about education and how long each of us have been in the field, and I've been in the education field about 21, 22 years prior to coming here, and my goal really is to stay here where I'm at Reynolds for at least 15 years, and then I'll make a decision of what I want to do. And you know, people don't normally talk about their age, but in 15 years I'll be 60 years old, and then at that point I'll make a decision of what I want to do next. So this isn't something that I just plan, or someplace that I plan to be for a short term. This is a long-term commitment on the part of myself and my family. So we would like to invest ourselves in the community. So getting back to some of the 21st century tools that I'd like to be the steward to escort or supervise these things, if you will. I talked about modern classrooms within the historic context of our building. Our facilities and our campus that supports and fosters the growth and development of those 21st century skills. There are things that we can do in the auspices of what we have. And so I really look forward to that. And I think that's a challenge, both financially, and I think it's a challenge both physically at our facilities, because we want to maintain the historic nature of our facilities. That is a point of pride. That is where we're at here. And I've come to, every day I come to appreciate it even more. Not that I didn't appreciate it before, but I think it's a great, what's the word I'm looking for, asset for our community, and it's unique. And so we need to work with that.